The intent of this podcast is for entertainment only. Our stories are based on the opinions and thoughts of ourselves and the research we cite. We encourage you to conduct your own research and form opinions based on your findings. Welcome to the next episode of Conspiracy Happy Hour, everyone.
Woo!
Yay! And as you can see, we are not alone.
And we're virtual.
It's virtual, yes. We have we have our next guest for Conspiracy Happy Hour. Everybody welcome Dan. Second Dan.
Woo!
Yay!
Yay, second Dan.
Yeah.
Perfect nickname.
The conspiracy for Conspiracy Happy Hour is that everyone will be Dan at the end. Allison.
Yeah, no. I'll be like Danielle.
There you go.
Perfect. Perfect.
It counts.
No. Is this our first guest episode where we've actually recorded, or just the first guest episode where we are doing it this way?
Recorded
Did we record
ever?
the last one?
Yeah.
No, I mean, sorry, like the video recording.
Yeah, Anthony was recorded.
Okay. Very nice.
He was there. He was on the casting couch.
Yes.
But yeah, this will be our first episode of the new year. We're entering the new year, 2023.
Yeah, and
with a bang.
I think during our last recording, we ended up saying that one was our first one, also accidentally.
Well, we also
that was a lie. This will be our first episode.
This is our first one
of 2023. You know what? I've actually had people asking me, they're like, did you guys take a break or something? I don't think we actually announced it on a podcast that we were taking a break. I think that was just on our Instagram. So if you don't follow our Instagram, that is your fault. You know who I'm talking to.
There's a peeping Tim in the queue trying to get into the stream.
That's weird.
He's not allowed in. This is our podcast. No. But yeah, welcome, Dan. I know.
Thank you, Dan.
You're a fan. You're welcome. Thank you, Dan.
I'm really excited to hear the story.
I am too. We don't know anything about it. Dan, I won't tell you guys where he lives, but he does not live locally. So that's why we're doing this virtually. So this is our first virtual, and it's a first virtual episode, and it's our next guest episode, if you probably couldn't tell. So
wait, I have a really funny story to tell you. Can I tell my story? There's a cat meowing at the door. So I was out with my aunt today for just a lunch, just because we haven't seen each other in a while. And she brought her 3 grandkids, which are my cousin's kids. And I think the youngest, maybe 7. He's in first grade, so however old that's supposed to be. But we were talking about, I said, I really want to go back to Disney World. I miss it. Like, what, don't you want to go back? Like, go see Mickey Mouse and stuff? He goes, can I tell you, I was watching YouTube, and did you know that there's a secret underground tunnel in Disney World, and there's a Disney jail? I was like, oh, conspiracies. He's starting young.
Yes. Next guest on the pod.
Right? That'll be an interesting one. It'll be like, I don't know.
I have heard about the tunnels, but I don't think it's a conspiracy. I think it's just how the staff gets around.
Yeah, but I didn't know there was a Disney jail.
There's mall jail, so I'm not really too surprised. But
yeah,
but that's cool. That's fun.
I just thought it was really funny. He's like already into that stuff.
Something to look into.
Yeah, right. That'll be our next conspiracy.
I know. God. So Dan, you brought us a story today.
Are we jumping straight into like the conspiracy part?
Not yet, but you brought us our story. Like Allison said.
Keep in mind, whatever the story is, you have to think of something that goes along with that story so we can name our cocktail.
Yes.
You have to name it. At the end of this episode, you have to come up with a name for it.
And since you are our Southern friend, even though you're not in the South.
It's not quite the South.
You're more Southern than us.
So, I don't know, Allison, since it's a little hard to see, do you want to describe what our drink is? It's really basic today, but...
No, because they have to subscribe to the Patreon.
Oh, that's right. You can't know.
No, I'm not doing
I'm really bad at the secret part. So yeah,
I can show you an image, but that's as much as you're getting from me.
There you go. It's red. It's actually just fruit punch.
Yeah.
So Dan is our friend from the interwebs. He's a friend of the pod, friend of Gecko's media in general. He's a part of a few other podcasts, or I don't know if they all fall under the Ham Pod umbrella or not. There's so many of them.
I just kind of guessed around wherever people ask me to go.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's why we like Dan. He's like, I like conspiracies. I was like, you're a guest.
Well, I just enjoy listening to it, you know.
And
Nobody wants to be
believing.
part of one. Oh, I believe.
I'm
Oh,
just
I
kidding.
believe. 100%. Every single
I
one you
mean,
guys say,
some
I'm
of
like, oh,
them.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could have happened for sure. Government
Yeah.
cover up.
No
100%.
swaying, no swaying whatsoever. It's just like, yep.
Yep. Nope. That's true.
That
100%.
is a fact. Those birds are fake.
Listen, I heard it on the internet.
And the
I'm
internet
like,
doesn't
getting the sugar
lie.
off my glass. Don't mind me. No, like every 5 seconds you be licking my finger.
Well, you know, it's like famous President Abraham Lincoln once said, if it's on the internet, it must be true.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Very true.
I don't know if I agree with that. There's a lot of things on the internet that I don't think are quite true.
no, yeah, that's fair. 100% fair.
Yeah. Like Lincoln.
Except, you know, yeah, like Lincoln.
Who knows?
Wait, you
Maybe
said Lincoln said that?
yes.
I need to catch up.
Yeah, maybe he was handing out his pamphlets. The first Wikipedia page was a literal page.
Yeah.
7 years ago,
It's
the
like,
internet
We
was
came out.
invented.
Yeah, we came up with the internet.
that bitch. But yeah, what else? What else do you like to do, Dan, in your spare time? What do you want to tell the audience of Tim?
No, like if yeah, Tim, if you'd like to come over and listen to the podcast that I'm on the most, it's Hammer of the Gods podcast, aka Ham Pod. We are a what do you call it? A real play
I think so. I
podcast
think
where
that's
we
what it's
actually
called.
play and everything.
You would know more
There's-
than me, Dan.
It's not
you
geckos.
know, nothing-
It's not geckos. and
It's
Cronus.
definitely not geckos.
They actually play by the rules. We do not.
Yeah, actual play, apparently, according to the Peeping Tim. So,
Was he commenting?
actual play podcast based on like an idea of like Greek mythology. The
live
world that we're in is
studio
called
audience.
New Alexandria. So,
That's fun.
anyway,
And you can
come listen
find
to it if
that
you want to.
on all the podcasting apps, right?
Spotify and Anchor.fm, and I'm sure others that Rick would be like, "Hey, why didn't you say this one?" And I'll be like, "I don't know, man. I
We
wasn't
can
ready to
list
do
it
an
all
ad."
in the description of the post and stuff. So don't worry, we got
Perfect. Thank you.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
you. Oh wait, I forgot. Hold on, let me put on my acting face for a second. Ready? Hold on.
That's true. Peeping Tim says, and geckosmedia.com.
Oh my god, you guys sound amazing. Where did you get your microphones from? I was told to ask that.
Oh. Mine just showed up one day. I don't know who. I think it was Santa.
Mine,
Santa, yeah.
mine came from Santa Tim.
Yeah. Tim
He's
is
like, "Make sure
Tim
you
is a
make-"
Tim is a great friend.
He likes to take credit.
He li-
Oh no, I can't hear you.
Oh no, we lost you, Dan.
Sorry, I just accidentally muted myself. I'm not going to touch the microphone anymore.
Good idea. We're still getting used to this.
Yeah.
Setup.
Tim's gift is dumb. It's too high tech. It has a mute button on it, but
Yeah.
yes,
it's
he's
insane.
he's very generous with his gifts, but his gifts are selfish because he says we all sound bad.
Yeah, he doesn't do it from all of his gifts. He doesn't do it for himself. He does it so he can do something with you later on.
Mhm.
That's. Although I will say, this is the first time I've ever used his microphone down here. It's pretty
Mhm.
good. Like
It
I'm
is.
sitting, like I'm not on the microphone.
Mm-hmm. I'll have to
And I
take
can
that one
still hear
out to the
myself
chair.
pretty clearly. What?
I said we'll have to take that one out to the chair, steal it for
Oh,
when we record.
yeah, on our fancy chairs. We need to do something better with that setup. I like this setup better than when we sit out there.
It is
I'm
pretty
saying.
nice. It is nice,
Right?
We have.
We should do them all remotely. It'll be so much easier to find time to record also.
I mean, I'm down for that. We have
Okay.
we have a nice backdrop. Conspiracy happy hour.
I know, look at this. Wait, no, wrong way. This way. This way. I can't find the right spot. So
It's fine.
My hands are all over. But this will be up. I do want to just say this episode is getting released while we will be at MagFest.
Yes.
So we are going to be recording somewhere, like probably on the floor at some point one of those days. So if you are listening to this and you are at MagFest in National Harbor, please come find us because we would love to have a couple of our guests coming up. people watching,
Fans.
listening, just come up and talk. Yeah, fans. I didn't want to say that word because it just doesn't sound right. We're not, yeah.
Yeah,
So
hopefully we
would
can
love
get
to
some
have you-
passersby that will come and say a few things.
Please,
I don't know.
pity us and just
Yeah.
come up and be like, okay, I'll talk with you.
And instead
Sure.
of collecting money, we're like, help me, I'm poor. We're like, be on our podcast.
Yes, I am going to be making some stickers for the thing and some magnets also. So we'll give out some stuff and
And if you're there, I'll probably be wearing my sweatshirt.
oh, you got your sweatshirt on again?
Yeah.
See, I was thinking about it, but technically the next 2 episodes I'm going to be wearing that sweatshirt. So I was like, third time in a row might be a little overkill.
That's
I
true.
do clean it, but I mean,
No one needs to know.
that I clean it or
Yeah.
wash it.
Yeah, no one cares.
Just everybody thinks it's all dirty all the time.
I haven't washed mine yet.
So I just did. But at the same time, I haven't done laundry in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So my hamper was starting to pile high.
Yeah, my whole work is off except for me. So this week has
They
been
took off or
Yeah, they all took off. Everyone's out of
Okay.
office. So this whole week has been me just doing things around my apartment. So tomorrow's laundry day. We do laundry.
yeah, it's been kind of nice. There hasn't been too much work to do. Nobody
Mhm.
is asking me for stuff, and that's fine with me because I can get some of my own shit done. So,
hmm
Dan, have you been working still remote, or do you work in the office? I have to find a new way to say this because I'm talking to Dan T and not you, Dan.
I
Well,
figured.
I'm Other Dan. I can change my screen name to Other Dan if you'd like.
I will. I can't even point. Bottom Dan and top Dan. That's how it's. That's how. It's
So wait.
I'm top.
You know what?
That-
when
that
I
checks
said
out.
it sounded better in my head.
Well, I'm glad
So-
that's been preserved in the record. So
Oh man.
whichever.
Oh.
So do you still work from home, or are you in the office or wherever?
So out here where I'm at, because I am not obviously from where you guys are. Like it's Missouri. Oh god.
Oh my god! Not everybody's gonna find your address
Oh
instantly.
no, there's
It's
only
Missouri.
3 towns in Missouri.
Yeah, only 3 in the whole state. But out here, we didn't really do the remote thing.
Oh really?
No, out here, people were like, COVID,
What is that?
get fucked. You know, can I say that on here? I think I can say that
Oh
on
yeah.
here.
Yeah.
You know, so basically, it was just like show up to work or lose your fucking job.
Really?
Yeah, that's
Damn.
how it was here. So, I mean, I'm sure there were some organizations that, you know, went remote and things like that, but by and far here in Missouri, you were still in the office. So I never really got the luxury of doing the whole remote work thing. I did have a job for a minute that was kind of hybrid, where some days I could work remote if I wanted to, but most of the time I was in the office. So it was great.
That sucks.
Great times.
It does suck.
Well, I mean, do you have
yeah.
a big do you have a lot of people who are in the office, or is it just 3 of you?
Yeah, no, it's there's quite a few of us. There's like 20.
Okay, so at least there's
So.
Communication people to talk to and stuff.
Yeah,
So,
no, for
yeah.
sure. Yeah. So it's nice. Yeah.
I think our
'Cause,
whole
you know.
the whole COVID time when everything shut down, we only saw Dan. Dan came over and we would just live with Dan pretty much because my family didn't want to see me. So, and his family didn't want to see him. So we
Same.
were like, you know what?
My mom's like, I'm canceling Easter. And I was like, okay.
No, so did my mom.
Yeah.
We had Easter together.
Yeah, we had Easter
I took-
together.
Dan made alcoholic punch. So it was fair trade.
When I hear stories like that from like your guys' perspective, it's always wild to me to think about that here in Missouri, like life almost didn't
Didn't change.
really even change at all.
Really?
Nah.
It's
That's-
crazy
It
because
was pretty
everything
crazy.
changed here. Nothing.
Restaurants were closed.
Everything.
Yeah,
The only thing you could go to was a
gyms,
grocery store,
stores.
a gas station, and the pharmacy. And then no one was on
Yeah.
the road. It looked like the
Everything
apocalypse
shut
happened
down.
because
It was
all the
so
roads were
bizarre.
clear.
I imagine that'd be really, really strange up there, especially. I'm sure you guys have a hell of a lot more traffic than I deal with. But yeah, I remember I was working in a different town than I lived in at the time. And so I would drive to work and there wouldn't be anybody. But it wasn't super weird. But it was
when
more
you're driving
like,
through fields and cows, it's not that different.
yeah. No, you make that joke, but I used to live an hour from work and I had to drive through fields and cows and all that
No,
shit. So
They're so
I mean, the same cows. The cows didn't wear masks or anything.
No,
so
they did
it wasn't
social
too
distance.
different.
They didn't do
Scouts
anything.
in social distance.
Can't drink
But
their
no,
milk
it was-
anymore.
Yeah, no, nothing really changed here though. So Missouri's weird. Missouri's very strange.
See, that's so like I mean, like were stores allowed to stay open there?
Oh yeah,
Really?
Yeah, no, like
I
nothing
thought that
really
was
got-
like a mandate from like the president or whatever at the time.
You try telling a Missourian to do anything. we don't listen to shit. No, like I mean, there were some places I'm sure if I was to go back and really think about it that were closed. But for instance, at the time I worked for a solar installer. I did that for 7 years.
Okay,
and
like
somehow
the door to doors, like sailing and sales and stuff like that, or do you not have that?
we did not
Okay.
quite in the same.
So it's like for you guys, you probably have to
Level?
drive door to door instead of like walk
Yeah.
down the street and just go from house to house.
Yeah, no, it was a lot more like we had a team of people who would call and set appointments and things like that, and they would send a salesman out to their house and they would sell them or not sell them. Anyway, but yeah, like that was considered essential for some reason. The city government or state government or whatever deemed it as part of a utility, which was really strange because we weren't really a utility, but whatever, you know. So and
I guess because
Walmart
some
was
people
open.
may rely on their solar panels. I don't know.
I guess. Yeah, nobody-
Maybe I don't know. It's a good
Maybe.
point.
Who knows?
Anyway, but yeah, so nothing really changed.
All
That's
I
the point
know
of the
is the
story.
highlight of my week was going to the grocery store.
To see people. I was praying to get like furloughed or whatever because
Me too.
I had all these like I'm still working and everything like that. Never got laid off, never got furloughed, anything like that. So knock on wood in a way. But everybody who did get laid off was collecting even more than their normal paycheck. And I'm like, come on, I'm over here working. You're over there playing like video games at home every day and you're making more than me. So I was like, what the hell? But
Yeah, no, for sure. Because I did know a couple people who were in that boat where they got laid off, and
Yep.
not it wasn't widespread, but I remember they were pulling, like you said, like they were pulling in like bank.
yeah.
And I was
like,
I was
oh my
still
God,
just
I
like,
would be like set for life.
yeah.
Tell me how that's
So.
fair. I don't know. I did appreciate the fact that gas was so cheap at the time, though. Like I was paying like $1 something per gallon.
Yeah, it was so cheap.
Yeah.
We got to under $1 per gallon here.
Wow.
Yeah, I took a picture of it because I was like, I will never see this again in my lifetime.
No, probably not.
So-
Do you have like do you use like the regular or do you have like a vehicle that uses like diesel or whatever?
I live in Missouri. I drive a 30-year-old pickup truck. Okay,
So regular.
just regular old dinosaur.
Regular
you know?
old
Well,
gas.
Every time I see
Regular old
anybody,
gas.
every time I see anybody talking about it, they're like the only people I ever see other than truckers who use diesel, like gas, whatever, is like people like out in the farm areas, but I guess it might be the tractors and stuff too. I don't know. So,
Could
Well,
be. Yeah.
could
no.
be. I
With-
wish. I'm glad I don't have to use it though.
Yeah. Diesel's a little bit outrageous for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It lasts longer.
Oh my god!
It does. It does. It does last longer.
Okay, well, with all that talk about gas prices, should we get into the conspiracy?
Oh my god!
And while we watch
Sorry.
Allison
10%
have an
alcohol.
attack. Yeah.
Good lord! Yeah, let's do it. We
All
don't
right.
even have to do rock paper scissors shoot this time.
No, it's all Dan.
Oh, it's all me.
It's
all
all
you.
you.
Now
The
we're
Pressure
just here.
is on, my friend.
We're just
The
here for
pressure,
the
the
oohs
pressure.
and the
Oh, no.
ahs. That's all you get from us. It's all you.
Oh,
The pressure.
gosh.
The pressure was too much, and my internet shut down. Oh no!
Oh no.
Where the fuck did that teddy bear come from?
Well,
Anyway, yeah,
if you
so,
get killed by a possessed teddy bear, it'll be on camera.
I have never seen this. I'm in my office, and I've never seen a teddy bear in here. Ever. Well, it's mine and my wife's office, but I've never seen a teddy bear in here before. But there's a fucking teddy bear over there. So
Make
I'm gonna have to
camera.
ask her. I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to ask her about that in a moment.
She's spying on. She's spying on you.
Probably. Well, anyway, yes, peeping Sarah is what it would be.
As long as the head doesn't start spinning, I think we'll be okay. The little peeping Tim.
There we
Yeah.
go. Now people can see what we're actually talking about. All right, let's do this. Go ahead, Dan.
Okay, perfect. Well, so the more I thought about this, I wanted to do something specific to my region, right? Give you guys maybe something from over here. I mean, it's not like we're that far away. It's like 20 hours. It's not super far.
So far.
If it's not on the East Coast, it doesn't exist.
That's funny. Tim has said pretty much the same thing. So
if it's not on this
yeah.
coast or that coast, the flyover states are just like
Yeah.
wow.
Tim doesn't
Wow.
go outside of his bubble though. Just
Tim doesn't leave
so.
his house, so take whatever he says with a grain of salt.
He leaves his house to never mind. I get his snaps, okay?
Unfortunately, we all do.
Oh man. Okay, so basically I got to digging and I was gonna do Momo, our Momo. We have a completely different Momo than you guys
Really?
have.
That
Yeah.
would have been cool.
So when you all posted your version of Momo, I got super stoked because I was like,
You thought it was yours.
there's no way that they know about Momo. Right? So then I was going to do Momo and like the Ozarks Howler and things like that. And then I was like, I don't know if that fits in. It probably would have. But I decided to stay away from that because you guys have already done a Momo. And I didn't want you guys to figure out another Momo.
Yeah, maybe after this we could do like a separate like 10-minute side video and we could do your Momo.
Sure.
And then we could post that onto our Patreon
Mhm.
for our Patreon listeners. Some bonus
Sure.
content.
Sure, yeah. That'd be totally fine. So anyway, I decided to avoid Momo, and then I wound up settling on it's kind of a conspiracy, kind of an unsolved mystery murder.
Ooh, I love that. Okay. Sign me up.
Yeah, it happened back in the 80s. They still don't know who did it. Happened in the small town of Skidmore, Missouri.
More.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a super great name. We've got some really interesting town names out this way. I'm sure you guys do too.
More so in PA.
Ours are more
basic-
weird in the sense of, not weird, I shouldn't say that. They're more like Indian, or like it's not
Sure.
like it's not like what, like there's like the weird names out west,
Schuylkill?
like Decilis or like all those.
we
Like
have like a Defiance here.
Manahawkin and like Ricaucus.
Oh yeah.
We have, let's see, Frankenstein, Missouri. We
I
have
love that.
That's
Tightwad,
cool.
Missouri.
Tightwad.
Tightwad. Yeah,
Sounds like what
we've
you
got
call
some
someone.
interesting town names.
Like you type
Right? Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, so there's some interesting town names out here, but this one just happens to take place in Skidmore. It occurred back in the 80s, 81 actually, and it revolves around the murder of a man that was never solved. They've never solved who killed him. His name, are we allowed to say names on here? Is that
Yeah.
I mean,
public,
yeah, this
public
is the story
knowledge?
got. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So his name was Ken McElroy.
Oh my god, I'm
And-
telling him.
Well, he's
He's
dead.
dead.
So
You're not telling him shit.
basically, he was just a Missouri dude. He's kind of known as a town bully, and by kind of, I mean they definitely thought he was the bully of the town. If he wanted anything, he just took it. He didn't care. He stole, he robbed, he beat people up, anything he could do.
So it's definitely a motive for the situation, probably.
Oh, probably.
Yeah, it sounds like he had some enemies.
You.
He sounds like he had a whole town of enemies, to be honest. But, he was basically killed after he'd been beating his wife, essentially. And by essentially, I mean that's what happened. And the police wouldn't do anything about it because everybody was scared of this guy. Like, nobody
Oh
wanted
my
to mess
God.
with him.
So they wouldn't
he'd
do
been-
anything about him beating his wife?
Nope.
Because they were-
He was accused of raping. He was accused of murder a couple of times, and of course, multiple times robbery. And none of the police or sheriffs or anything had anything to do with it. He also he did go to court a couple times for some of his stuff that he did,
Mhm.
but his lawyer would get him out every single time, get him off the hook.
I guess with all the
So-
stuff that he stole, he had a very build up, could pay for a wealthy lawyer.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm trying to find exactly what the other. Okay, so then the other family that he wound up feuding with was they were called the Bowen Camps, and they owned a grocery store in his town. They had accused his daughter of shoplifting, which kind of falls right from his tree of being, a criminal. Unfortunately for her, he went down to the shop and started to, terrorize the old man who owned it. The old man was in his 70s who had accused his daughter of shoplifting. Basically, went down there and terrorized them, made them tell them that they weren't safe even with their own house, things like that. Typical, like, Missouri criminal things, kind of like the mob, but, hillbilly. So,
It's
We're
fun.
gonna like poison their crop and stuff.
oh, definitely.
Oh.
It definitely would have, yeah.
Nice wholesome crime.
So, he was murdered in 81, or if you want to call it murdered, but in
Died of unknown
1980,
causes.
yeah, in 1980, he had shot one of the Bowen Camps, the owner, the 70-year-old man. He had shot him in the neck, and he had survived.
Pretty guilty of this shit too.
Yeah. So
is this kind of almost like a Hatfield and McCoy type situation?
kind of, but like between one man and a grocery store. So kind of like me and Walmart.
That's so funny. Took the battle
But yeah,
to the
so-
store.
Yeah, it was like a whole thing, basically. And then in 1981, he was found dead in his truck, and he had been shot twice by two different guns. Well, I don't know if you guys are big into firearms or not, but a 22 caliber rifle and an 8mm Mauser rifle, two very different weapons. And there were ballistics proved later that there were definitely two gunmen who shot him. And there were about 45 people from the town around, and none of them claimed to have seen anybody do anything whenever it happened.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of the whole conspiracy story that I have. I don't have a whole lot of information about it, unfortunately, just because Missouri is so tight-lipped about everything.
Really?
We're very. It's very. Listen.
Didn't see anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me tell you.
Don't mess with the
I may get
grocery
a knock on my door
stores,
just for talking about this. But the point of the whole point of the conspiracy with him, the unsolved murder, is that nobody knows who did it. It's been over 30 years, obviously, because that was 81. So that would have been what? Almost 40 years ago now. Mm-hmm. Still nobody's ever come forward to say who killed him. At this point, it's, probably never going to happen. Actually, it's 46 witnesses who were there who claim to have not seen anything
all
at all.
Grocery store employees.
When you say witnesses, like it was in the grocery store that he was shot?
He was shot. He was found in his truck.
So then how do they know if they're like witnesses, if like they said they didn't see anything, and like are there cameras, like surveillance cameras of the area?
So that's fair. That's a fair point. They were all inside of a tavern that he was at right before he got shot.
Okay.
Yeah.
How convenient.
So
I guess the grocery store doesn't have any cameras in their parking lot.
Probably not 40 years ago. Not in Missouri.
Yeah.
Did he get shot like in an alley next to this bar, or did he get shot like in the parking lot of the bar, the tavern?
So basically, I skipped a whole important part. Oh my gosh! After he shot the old man in the neck, right? The store owner, he shot the old man in the neck.
Okay.
And the guy survived. The town held a town meeting, an impromptu town meeting, and after they convened the meeting, the whole group that was in the town meeting went down to the tavern, and then moments later, he was found dead in his truck, shot.
Oh, so this
I skipped that whole part
within like the same week or so.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I skipped that whole part, but anyway, that's important. So everybody listening.
So it sounds like the whole town was in cahoots.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically the conspiracy theory. Is that they all got together. They decided that they'd had enough of this man ruining their lives, and so they took it into their own hands because the law would not.
Said he had a daughter, right?
He did have a daughter.
So did he have I guess a wife and more family?
He had a wife. He actually had 10 kids.
Oh my God.
And he himself was the 15th out of 16 children.
So he had a huge family. Now, did anybody ever say to this guy, from his family, dude, chill, people are going to try to kill you? If I was in his family and stuff, I'd be scared to death of him.
Slow your roll.
I don't imagine anybody did. They may have, but I've never found any kind of inclination or any
I wonder if they miss him, or if they're part of the 45 who are not saying a word. Right.
Well,
maybe it was Dad. We know who did it, but
maybe it was an inside job. Go run down to the store for a gallon of milk, please.
See, we're building our own conspiracies.
Never comes back.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, that's the thing, right? That's how conspiracies work.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the whole
Somebody
point.
provides you a little bit of information, and you make up your whole idea. So, essentially, though, he was just a bully, and he got murdered, and nobody knows who killed him. The theory is that the town, and it doesn't really sound like that much of a theory, honestly, that the town just decided they'd had enough, and so they just did it.
Collaboratively, or let's end him.
Can you imagine the whole town just coming together and being like, you know what? We really don't like Dan.
Imagine
if all of
he's over there.
If all of Jersey was like, hey, we heard that Dan doesn't like shopping at Target, and they just went and they were like, all right, well, we've had enough of that shit.
You know what? Oh, I just hit my microphone. Sorry. Wham. No, I don't disagree because I don't enjoy Target all that much either. They got Starbucks going for them, but that's it. I'm a Walmart person.
I shop at Walmart too.
I'm probably going to get us canceled.
We're South Jersey, so we're trash.
Well, I live in Missouri, and pretty much all we have is Walmart. We have a Target, but it's so overpriced that I don't go there.
That's the thing anymore. They got two big bridges, just really high heads, and now everything, and they're ugly clothes anymore. I shop at Walmart half the time for my clothes too. So that's just me.
So back to McElroy here. The other thing of it, if you guys want to know more, there was a book written about it called In Broad Daylight.
Okay.
And there's also a movie, well, not a movie, but a mini series called No One Saw a Thing.
Cool.
What is that on?
That's a good question. Let's see.
Your cat.
I'm writing that. Oh, can you hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was on Sundance.
I
It
wonder
was
what
on
else it is.
Sundance, and I'm sure it can be streamed somewhere.
Yeah, it's got to be somewhere. But it's all about this story, and I'm sure they'll give you much more information than I can give you.
There was I thought there was a 1991 film also called In Broad Daylight. I was like, that sounds right when you said that book name. I was like, that sounds familiar. I'm on the wiki. I'm on the wiki. Thanks, Abraham Lincoln. Skidmore, Missouri.
Oh, that's what we call the drink, the Skidmore.
It's not a bad name.
Skidmore.
Right?
Skidmore.
I like the.
Perfect. But that's pretty much the main. That's pretty much the main meat of the theory of the idea of the story. Like I said, it's not super exciting, but I thought it was interesting, and it's one of those things.
Everyone likes a good
Go
murder,
ahead.
and it's funny when a whole town is conspiring against you, and even a local grocery store.
It's like one of those little hometown murders.
Yeah. How far is Skidmore from you?
Skidmore is
Without
I think
revealing
it's
where you live.
2.5 hours, maybe.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see. Probably 3.5.
Is
Oh,
that
wow.
like one of those really small towns that have like the little convenience store and that's it? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I bet we can figure out the
So
population.
there's probably
right now.
45 people in the entire town, not just from
Yeah.
that.
It sounds like that that grocery store is probably like the only one, and that's where everyone goes. So that's why everyone knew
Yeah.
about it.
As of 2020, the population was 257.
Wow.
My God.
So that's like a neighborhood.
I might
for
have
some folks.
257 people living on the street with me.
Yeah, just
Oh, that gives me the
just in your
heebie-jeebies.
development. Just in your development
I know.
alone, there's probably
There
more
might be
than that.
257 houses. Yeah. Can I help you? My God, they're both up here now. Invasion of the Cats.
No, so cute.
That was strong. But yeah, so that was my conspiracy idea. Whoa, my mic just hit me in the cheek.
God, everyone's under attack
chill,
by their
bro.
microphones.
Oh, I sucked a cherry.
We're
Skidmore, Missouri. Go ahead.
nothing. I'm just saying we're doing well.
We're
Al.
so put together.
So that is the main main theory that I wanted to bring to you guys. The main mystery.
Love
That's
that.
good. I love it.
That like is one of those things where in itself it's not a conspiracy, but there are so many conspiracies that can be built on it just because of the rarity of the
Sure.
crime.
And it's
how
just
it happens,
so
I guess.
interesting that this small town literally conspired against one human.
Against one man. But I mean, he seemed like he was a pretty big asshole. So, I mean, if he literally shot somebody in the neck, you said, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
A 70-year-old man.
Yeah, then that's pretty bad.
Of course, I'm not saying that a 70-year-old man shouldn't be shot in the neck, but you know.
It depends on the situation.
Depends, yeah.
We don't know him. So, now how old was this guy who.
He was in his 40s when he got murked.
So he wasn't even like he can use like the grumpy old man as an excuse type of thing.
No, he did. I mean, he did have an excuse. I didn't really want to paint him in a good light given the circumstances, but he was in an accident and he had gotten brain damage. And he had a steel
Okay.
plate in his skull. So some say that could have been why he was the way he was.
It sounds like it. I
But-
wonder what he was wonder what he was like up until that point.
Yeah, I couldn't know.
Yeah.
Surely
We'll
there's
never
somebody
know.
out there who would be happy to tell you.
Yeah. Now we have to go. See, here's another place. We got to go take a trip to Skidmore, Dan, and do like a little.
Just
report.
bust into the grocery store. Who killed him?
Was it you?
Looking under like the lettuce. Who killed him?
Right.
Is the body
We
buried
found
here?
a clue.
In the produce section, in the freezer section,
It is a clue.
and then we get killed.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so murder mysteries and things like that kind of always draw my attention, especially when it's one interesting like that.
And they always go hand in hand with these type of podcasts because those are the reason that conspiracies exist in the first place. So,
Yeah.
Mhm.
but
Yeah, and who doesn't love a
Interesting.
good murder?
Now, I would have written you guys a 10-page paper and report with sources and everything cited. Unfortunately, as Dan knows, I broke my foot last week, and so I've been really
get
busy.
out, really?
Yeah, I've been really busy not having a broken foot.
What did you do?
Oh, it's a conspiracy all on its own. I'm telling you.
Please share.
Yes. Retell
here-
the story.
Yeah, I didn't hear this.
Here in Missouri, I don't know if Allie knows about this, but Dan, I know I sent you pictures along with Tim and everybody. We had a really bad, not really bad, but a winter storm
Okay.
last week with ice and snow. That's just background. It was just icy and snowy outside. On Thursday, my wife and I were leaving town to go out of town for Christmas for, Christmas shit.
Right.
I mean, that was whenever it was starting to snow and everything. And I went out to start the car and I came inside, made it through all the ice and snow. No problem. I stepped into my house, onto my hardwood floor, right onto a dryer sheet.
Oh, no. And you slipped?
Got murked by a dryer sheet.
How does that happen? That is the worst luck.
It's always...
I know, right? That's what I said.
Coming for you.
It's like Final Destination.
You made it past all of the ice and the snow that was on the ground outside. You came in, you thought you were safe, and you step on a fucking dryer sheet and your legs... That's insane.
Yep. Yeah, it was wild. Our Ring doorbell caught the audio, and and you just hear me go in, and then you hear like this super loud crashing, and like I flung a wreath from the door trying to like catch myself, and you just hear me go, "Oh God!"
I'm sorry you broke your foot, but I really wish that actually got on camera.
I know.
Right? That would have been amazing.
The audio.
I would have been super happy. Maybe I'll send it to the group chat and Tim can show it to you. I'll talk to Sarah and see if she's okay with me sharing it, because she was laughing her ass off.
Well, she's the one that put the dryer sheet there, so she should. Yeah,
I know,
okay.
right?
You know what though? If it was Tim and he slipped, my first reaction probably would have been laughing. Like it's. I mean, I might have been laughing in between. Are you okay? But I would have been laughing for sure.
It's. Go ahead, Dan.
It's always the little things, because, as Allison knows, someone we work with I used to work with, she works with currently. She broke her foot, has been out for 3 years essentially, and she tripped on a bed sheet.
Oh, snap.
She got twisted up in a bed sheet and it destroyed her foot.
Yeah, like her whole foot.
She has a plate in there and everything. Protect your feet at all costs. That's all I'm saying. Protect your feet.
Well, that you don't realize how much you need your feet until they're not available.
I know. I know now. Actually, you might get good money for that foot now, depending on what it looks like when it comes out.
Like, listen, I could probably,
there is a market
only
for.
Feets.
I would totally do that.
Only feats for gnarly feats.
Is that a real site? 'Cause that's a great name.
I don't know. Claw.
That's a great name.
I would. Yeah. Listen, my foot's already goofed because I was from way in the past, so it doesn't matter. But anyway, now it's even more goofed. So it's great. New theory, though. The makers of
your wife's trying to kill
products, I already knew that. That's not even a theory. That's just fact.
Confirmed.
That's just fact. Yeah, no, that's confirmed. This was just her fourth attempt, and it's still failing. So she's gonna have to try a whole lot harder next time. But I think the makers of household goods are trying to assassinate us all.
Or are you talking about the
dryer sheet?
The dryer sheet situation.
Yeah. And the sheet that your friend tripped on, and it's just
it's like
it just
you ever see like, what's that movie called? The Brave Little Toaster.
Oh, I
that's
love
a
that
movie.
Yeah, it's an old one.
You've never seen The Brave Little Toaster?
No.
Allison.
Oh
Tim,
I
don't know that shit.
Tim's not peeping anymore.
Tim's not. Yeah.
The Brave Little Toaster is about a whole bunch of appliances that come alive when no one's looking. It's like a kid's movie.
It? Oh, it's a kid's movie.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know if it was like an adult film, like that Sausage Party.
No, it is not.
That would put it to a whole new perspective.
I hate Sausage Party so much. I
never watched it.
You don't watch it. It's bad. I remember sitting in my old apartment. Well, this was a long time ago when it came out. When I was still living in Philly, me and Albert tried to watch it, and we just both looked at each other and we're just like, "Oh, I don't like this movie." I was like, "I don't like this movie either." It's bad. So we turned it off. I never watched it to the end, but
it is pretty terrible.
I don't have that type of humor. Like things like
either.
South Park and like what's the Family Guy and those shows, they don't entertain me. I just find them really annoying. And then the voices are just like, shut up.
I liked Family Guy. I was never in the South. Well, I was never allowed to watch South Park, and then I never picked it up as an adult, so I really haven't seen it.
I had kind of a sheltered childhood. I was not allowed to watch SpongeBob for a while either. And then, I don't know. It just, now that I'm an adult, it's just the most annoying thing ever. The voices. I think it's the animated voices that people use when they're making TV shows. Just not a fan. It's like
that's fine.
gnawing at you. I'm just like, shut up. But
that's fair. That's fair.
That's a fair response.
Well, my family, every Sunday we'd gather around the TV with our TV dinners on our TV trays and watch the newest episode of South Park as a family.
That's nice.
I love that.
If you're hungry,
ours would be like we would watch Wheel of Fortune.
We couldn't afford Hungry Man with Stouffer's.
Horns. What is going on?
It does.
No, we would watch Wheel of Fortune or Jeopardy.
It's
Jeopardy
the pillow.
First, and then Wheel of Fortune. Oh yeah.
It's the pillow, and then it's the martini glass behind you.
That's better. What tiny glass?
The martini glass from the background.
Oh, that. Oh, wait, no. I can't.
Yeah, my family,
Nope.
we watched.
There we go.
With the thing that we gathered around the table and watched, we watched Charmed, we watched Friends.
See, I never watched any of those either, but
we watched Buffy. We watched
was never on.
A lot of fantasy
Vampire
stuff, actually. Yeah. Like, I grew up watching, like, my parents were big Star Trek people. They weren't like Star Wars. Mm-hmm.
Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
I would never imagine that for your parents. Like,
Yeah,
they don't seem like those type of people.
Both my parents.
Maybe your dad. Maybe your
both
dad.
love fantasy.
But...
Star Trek is more politics and space. It's not really like.
Is it?
Yeah, it's not like sci-fi like you'd think of a modern day movie or something.
My dad.
A lot of things from there came true, like cell phones.
From really?
Mm-hmm. They're communicators.
Just like the like how like Simpsons is supposed to predict the future. It's probably like so Star Trek.
Exactly. Yeah, Star Trek only stopped at cell phones. Simpsons seems to keep predicting the future, which is scary.
Which is really weird. That's going to be another one that we have to cover.
I was going to say that. No, that's probably a good conspiracy to go through.
Yeah, there's a lot of, but that's one of the ones where we're definitely going to have to, maybe it's easier if we do it this way too, but if we put in like side by side images, like, so we can be like, this
we could actually do that.
Happened. This is, I think that would be really good to do with the Simpsons ones because like some of like timing wise and everything, like same scenes. So I think that would be a really cool one to do next, or at least soon. I think I also want to do one coming up that we do like, maybe it's the one that we record when we're at MagFest, but I think we should do some sort of like Pokemon conspiracies or like that gaming type of whatever. I don't know. I'm not into that stuff. I just have to. I don't know the right words to use.
I don't know any gaming conspiracies, but maybe we could. Look
I don't know, but I feel like that we could definitely find some. Like we just go around. Maybe some people can introduce us to new ones next week or when we're.
I know this is probably not that entertaining, but maybe when we're there, we can ask people to like, they could just like, if they come up like
5-minute little clips.
Yeah, like name your favorite conspiracy and tell us why you like it.
We can put them all together. Yeah, I know. We're kind of brainstorming now.
Like a compilation.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Like a compilation, and then we can steal their ideas.
Yeah. Well, let's do this. Let's log off this episode. Dan, I still want you to tell us about the Momo, and we can use that for our Patreon, and then Dan and I, we can just brainstorm about stuff. Awesome.
Yeah, unless I know we kind of named the drink before you, but what would you like to name your drink?
No, honestly, the Skidmore is totally fine. We could also, that should work out just fine. Because I was gonna say like the McElroy, and then I was like, well, I don't want to name it
like
after
that too,
the guy.
It is a good name too.
Yeah, we don't want to honor him with the name.
Yeah, so the Skidmore.
I like that. The Skidmore.
Wait, what's his name? McElroy?
McElroy? Or McElroy? I don't know. I'm saying it McElroy.
Okay. I was going to say, at first I thought they rhymed, but they don't. So, never mind.
No, it doesn't rhyme with Skidmore. I like Skidmore. That's a good one.
Yeah. For anybody who is listening right now, if you are one of our Patreon members, you will get the delicious cocktail recipe, and you will also be able to go on and listen to Dan's Momo story. So I guess we will talk to everybody next time.
Dan, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me again. I apologize for not getting you a better rundown of the story.
It seems like you've had quite a week, so yeah, you're excused.
You're excused. We won't sick the grocery store after you. this time.
Perfect. Thank you, O benevolent overlord.
You're welcome. But just to
Awesome.
remind you, you don't need your feet to type.
Damn.
Now
Way
you
to
sound
go,
like,
Scuttle.
now you sound like my boss. So.
Well, good. I'll fit right in Missouri. So, well, thank you again for joining
all
us.
for listening.
Yes.
I did. You sign off.
And so I'm just thanking Dan for joining us. He definitely invited back.
Yes.
With a new conspiracy. Can't reuse that one. I'm sorry.
I'm still eating my sugar.
But if you come back, that means you get a new
use-
drink. So
Yeah, perfect. Oh, I like drinking. Listen.
yeah.
So
He's like,
whenever you're ready.
sold.
We'll have to do a little more planning on our part because the USPS defeated us a little bit, but that's for another story.
Oh my God, I was so upset. Yeah, we tried to send Dan the ingredients for a cocktail. Apparently, you can't send alcohol in the mail. Didn't know that. So that didn't work. And
I think you
they're
can.
like,
It just depends on what state you live on, and I do think New Jersey is one of those states where you can't do it.
well, you can use, now that I know you can't go to a UPS store or a FedEx store and send alcohol, you can use like not third party sites, but like not the big names.
Yeah.
Print your own label at home and then send it. So, but I was so upset. I thought of it like after I already gave it to them.
This is the one time I wish you were in the office so you could like get a shipping label printed.
Yeah. Well, you can go on to like Pirate Ship, I think it's called, and print your own label that way. No, I think it's called Pirate Ship.
Pirate Ship.
But but you'll get your little giddy bag tomorrow because unfortunately you couldn't use it tonight. I was so upset. They're like, well, we can send it overnight. It's going to cost you $150. I was like,
holy jeez.
I don't think so. To go to Missouri?
That's a hard pass. No.
Right?
Yeah,
it's like, Jesus.
I don't think it would cost me that much to drive to you and pick it up and drive back.
Right. I'm just like, I don't understand, but whatever. It is what it is. You'll get it tomorrow at some point, and hopefully you enjoy it.
I'm sure I will. Thank you. Thank you.
Sure.
You can have the rest of your cherries and whiskey in it for your weekend.
Yes, there you go.
Beautiful.
Start off your New Year's in the right tone.
Mm-hmm.
New Year's Eve. Ugh, my hand's so sticky right now from this glass. I don't know what I did to it. But anyways, we will talk to you guys on the next episode of Conspiracy Happy Hour. And as always, don't forget to check out our Instagram at Conspiracy Happy Hour, our Patreon, which I believe is Conspiracy Happy Hour also, right, Dan?
Yep. We're Conspiracy Happy Hour across the board.
Yeah, there you go. We keep it simple for you.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure you check us out on our social media platforms, on our Patreon. And if you care to listen to Dan's Momo story and get the recipe to this cocktail, as well as the other cocktails for our guest episodes, all of that is up there. And we'd love to see you at our next happy hour also. So
they're really fun.
They are. They always go way overboard, but I love every second of it. We just get drunk and happy. Mm-hmm. Well, we will talk to you guys all on the next episode of Conspiracy Happy Hour. Happy Hour. I don't know what
Conspiracy Happy. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Conspiracy Happy Hour. Be sure to listen, follow, and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or wherever you get your podcasts. Have a spooky story, conspiracy, or weird encounter that you would like to hear read in a future episode? Email your story to conspiracyhappyhour@gmail.com and follow the show on Instagram and Facebook at Conspiracy Happy Hour. This podcast is produced and edited by Geckos Media and is a part of the Geckos Media Network. Interested in starting your own podcast and not quite sure where to begin? Visit geckosmedia.com and sign up for a free one-on-one consultation. Until next time, see you!